New at noon, Local News 8 digging deeper, talking to people who live next to the St. Anthony work camp. Now, that's the facility where accused killer Kevin Quinzel escaped just last week. I have Schroeder-Jensen here joining me live in studio to discuss the concerns that neighbors have at this point.
Well, Kaylee, many people living in St. Anthony, it's a very trusted community, so much so that people don't even lock their doors. And that is about to change. It took days for some neighbors of St. Anthony's work camp to learn more about Kevin Quinzel's escape. They're outraged that they never received an alert. For many years, the Corrections Department work camp has been an asset to St. Anthony, bringing in funding to the city. But after last week's mistake of admitting an accused murderer to a minimal security facility, some members of the community have lost their trust.
I'm outraged. He had no business being in the work camp in the first place, and knowing his background now, I didn't even know that background. There definitely been at least a text alert sent out to the community. I mean, I'm literally right next to the work camp, and he could have come here, and there's nothing we could have done about it.
Tonight at 5, I talked with more neighbors to find out what they are thinking. Now, Kaylee, I continue speaking with this man afterwards, and a lot of people forget that Quinzel also held a woman hostage. And he has a daughter at home, and I asked him how he felt about that, and he said what his thoughts were he couldn't say on camera. I'm kind of thinking if we were in a situation like that, that would be pretty scary for a lot of women.
Definitely, totally, and especially living in such close proximity to that work camp. Now, you were there. You saw how high that fence was. Can you kind of describe how easy this might have been for him to get out?
Well, to give our viewers an idea, we're pretty short girls. We're 5 feet tall. We're even standing on a pedestal, so people can see that. Yeah, I know. Well, to give people an idea, we could have jumped that fence. It was very easy. There's even a big gap where you and I could have squeezed out of. So it's very minimal security, and what that place is meant for is to trust these inmates because they're going to re-enter into society. And a lot of these community members do trust this place because these are people who are going to rejoin them soon.
Right, yeah, totally. Well, Ariel, thank you so much for that update. We'll check in with you again at 5.
Thank you.
Live from your news leader, Local News 8 at 5 starts now.
Tonight at 5, Local News 8 continues to follow the story of a murder suspect who was moved to a minimum security work camp in St. Anthony and then later escaped.
Take a look at this map. You can see the work camp has 3 different community parks all around it, along with several neighborhoods.
Local News 8's Schroeder-Jensen is here with us now in the studio with some of the concerns from those neighbors. Ariel.
Todd, many people living in St. Anthony tell us it's a trusting community, so much so that people don't even lock their doors. Well, that's about to change.
Just really nervous.
That makes me livid.
It makes it not safe.
There's an eerie feeling in the neighborhood next to the Idaho Department Corrections where Kevin Quinzel escaped. The Idaho Department of Corrections admitted that they made a mistake in placing a man arrested for murder into a minimum security facility. But locals say 2 questions still spring to mind.
Why was somebody with a violent criminal past in a minimum security facility? And the second was, why did we not hear about it from the people in charge for close to 17 hours.
It took days for some neighbors of the St. Anthony work camp to learn about Quinzel's escape.
I had no idea that it even happened or went on.
Oh, I didn't even know that background. There definitely been at least a text alert sent out to the community. I mean, I'm literally right next to the work camp, and he could have come here, and there's nothing we could have done about it.
Neighbors tell us there were children at risk.
I am a single mom with 2 little girls coming home at night after work. I feel like it's really concerning that he could have slipped through any cracks with the charges that he was facing, why he was ever brought over county lines. Even if it was just for a day, even if it was just for a week, he should have never been here at all.
There's no warnings around that says that it's state property, no trespassing or keep away, nothing. So we have kids that utilize the skate park right here that ride their bicycles within just a few feet of the residents in the institution.
For many years, the Corrections Department's work camp has been an asset to St. Anthony, bringing in funding to the city. But after the big mistake of admitting a suspected murderer to a minimal security facility, some members of the community have lost their trust.
Y'all need to step it up. When y'all shouldn't ever get murderers next door at the facility, you should, let us know, because it's trustees over there, and we've never had problems with the trustees that are there. We've never had any problem or anything with any of them. But murderers next door, really?
A recent community satisfaction survey for the city of St. Anthony is filled with questions for residents about property taxes, traffic, and sanitation. One section is devoted to public safety and relations with local police. If you have concerns, there's still 3 days to fill out your survey and voice your concerns about what happened with the escape of prisoner Kevin Quinzel. Reporting in the studio, Schroeder-Jensen, Local News 8.
All right, thanks, Ariel.
Now, Local News 8 is continuing to follow this story. Schroeder-Jensen has new information on the man who escaped the St. Anthony work camp. She's live for us in our newsroom. Ariel, what did you find out?
Todd, this morning the work camp warden met with St. Anthony's chief of police along with Mayor Donald Powell to talk about Quinzel's escape and why he was at that work camp in the first place. He tells us he is just as concerned as the citizens.
Definitely was a mistake that gentleman ended up here. Steps have been taken to make sure something like this doesn't happen again.
Mayor Powell used to be a police officer and tells us this was a filing issue. Allegedly, none of Quinzel's current charges were received by the work camp. They do not know why those charges were not in the system. If they had, he would never have been allowed to stay there. Powell says the warden has assured him that changes to the system have been made so that this never happens again. Those changes went into effect today. As for why no one received a reverse 911,
just human error. We kind of agreed on from now on, as soon as they think they're missing somebody, they're going to notify the sheriff's office, who will, notify all the law enforcement. We'd rather err on the side of safety.
this is still an ongoing investigation. Mayor Powell says the Department of Corrections brought in outside agencies to look into this. Reporting in the newsroom, Schroeder-Jensen.
Okay, Ariel, thank you for that update from the newsroom.